Yo,
problem and nobody can solve them. I'm long division on the road to success, but it's more of a mission. They said I was.
what's good?
Yeah.
Yo,
Can you hear me?
yeah,
All right, appreciate it. Yeah, I just got the shower.
yeah, and we back. Another great night.
Yeah, last night was fun.
Last night was great.
Oh my god! 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 Oh my god!
What's good, everybody in the chat? Tripped out week.
Tripped out week. Psychedelic week, I call it.
Black Panther Wakanda forever marks the end.
Psychedelic trippy week.
Yes. Somebody get some water downstairs.
All right.
I grew up around weed smoke, just like the.
Oh yeah, you listening to Hall of Notes? Favorite Hall of Notes album? Favorite Hall of Notes song? You should be giving me just like that. You should be telling me like, yo, this is my favorite album, my favorite song.
I'm back.
All right.
You said this is your favorite Beatles album, Antoine? Okay.
Yeah, man. You guys be coming up with the great topics. This is the shit I like.
So this is the shit you like.
Yes.
Cool. So when you talk about Metallica, you don't like it.
No.
Alright.
Reg lost his fucking mind when you talk about shit like that. Yeah.
But you gotta admit, those reviews were fun though.
It's fun when I'm into the damn artist. You know.
this week is going to continue to happen until I get my United States Championship back. Now, here's what you guys played. Might have something.
Yeah, Roberta Flack got ALS.
Didn't she?
Yeah, she can't perform no more because of that.
Oh wow, a legend.
Pass the keys like they used to do. Pass the peas like they used to do. Ain't that right, Troy? Pass the peas like they used to do.
Yes, I heard that for sure.
Okay, let me get myself comfortable. Do you think Sergeant Pepper's, in your opinion, what?
The hell does that mean? Stop typing in the dark. That making no sense.
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right, Q, man. Just enjoying these next couple of days off. May go CD shopping this weekend, depending on my schedule.
Ooh,
Actually, you know what? I think I might take Ashley CD shopping with me when she comes to town.
ooh.
Everybody's starting about 15 minutes. SpongeBob or Rocco? No, I might give a little SpongeBob a chance tonight.
Do you think it's overrated? Have you heard this album? You tell us if it's overrated or not. Let me know what you think. What's your favorite tracks off of Sgt. Pepper?
It's Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Heart in there. He said he thinks so.
No, I think you're crazy.
We'll talk about that. Yeah, I don't know if I want to work Black Friday or not, boy. But honestly, man, if I do go Black Friday shop, I'm just gonna go in the morning. I'm not gonna go in the afternoon and the evening.
Right.
I'm not into Black Friday shopping like that anyway. I'm a Cyber Monday kind of guy.
Cyber Monday.
Yeah, cause you get better
You don't want to
online
stand in
deals.
line. You don't want to stand in line with people after Thanksgiving dinner.
I don't want to stand in line of people. Period.
Right, especially with COVID out here.
Right. Nee boy, what's up?
Nee boy, let's go Giants. Eagles lost tonight. I'm happy. Let's get it. The division is ours, boy. Lashia is pissed. I can't even say that though.
Yeah, that was fun earlier, man.
Ah, he's pissed. She ain't cash app you yet, right?
Not yet.
She pissed off because as soon as I came in there, I was like, "Let's go Giants." She's like, "You want me to block you?" That shit was funny.
Yeah, I can't wait till she comes to the collection video and shit too.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
There's gonna be a lot of people coming.
It's gonna be a party. Shit. BJ said he missed the live. What's up with BJ? Like he don't be getting the notifications?
We t- we told them. I don't know. We
He
just
said he missed the live last night.
I don't know, man. Lucy in the sky with diamonds. Okay, 10 more minutes. Yo, what's up, Mike?
Mike was good.
That was
I
a dope.
forgot y'all was doing Claudine. If I had remembered, I would have watched the movie. I didn't even know y'all was doing it yesterday.
Well, next week we're gonna do Shaft,
Shaft, the original.
the original.
Oh wow! And I got the soundtrack for that classic.
Same.
Do you like the reboot with Samuel L. Jackson?
Yeah, it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it was good.
I even like the one they did a couple years ago.
Right.
That
Oh,
was dope.
the one with Brandon T. Jackson and
Yeah,
yeah, that was good.
I was like, okay.
Richard Roundtree's best role.
I agree. Hip hop.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely watch. I've seen Shaft in the past. I know they had it on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on there.
No,
No, it's not on anymore.
no.
It was on there like last year, I think, or 2 years ago.
Because Netflix sucks.
Right? Tell him that's his homework.
Oh yeah, Mike said that's his home because he wants to join the review too. That's what he says.
Who said that?
Q
He wants to join the review.
for Shaft. Yes,
Does he
right
have
there.
does he have power in his house to join the review?
You said what?
Does he have power in his house to join the review?
Stop.
Y'all gonna be like squinting your eyes trying to trying to see dude in the darkness, man.
By the way, I got a new clip too in case anybody tries to do some.
You got a new clip? Oh god.
Yeah.
Yes, Three Tough Guys. I also got that on vinyl. That soundtrack. That's underrated.
Also got what?
Three Tough Guys,
Oh, true.
Isaac Hayes. That was a good soundtrack.
Yeah, that was dope. If I the keyboard.
You got light in your crib, Word?
You said what?
He said he got light in his crib. So you paid the light bill? Yeah, Sam is funny. Yeah, you got lights on right now on a Monday. Talking about Sunday night. Your lights might be off by then. Yeah.
You might
Yeah,
surprise y'all.
he might.
You might effing surprise y'all. Shit. Don't count them out yet. By the way, I saw Halloween Ends a couple days ago.
Did you like it?
It was so bad. It was so
Oh
bad. It was
God.
funny.
That's truly the worst one in the franchise, man.
It was so bad. It was funny.
You know, people said before then it was Resurrection with Tyra Banks and Buster, but this one is beating Resurrection.
Shit.
It was just bad. I'm like it's like they combined two stories in one.
You said they combined two stories.
Yeah, you know that the love story with Allison and with the guy
Yeah.
that should have been for another film. You
I'm
know
not even a big Michael Myers fan. I just watched that shit because we didn't feel like going to Black Panther.
that's one of the worst horror. That might be the worst horror film this year that I've seen. For to be the last one, or they claim it's gonna be the last one. I still don't believe that because it made money. But to be like the last one in the series, and that's how you go out. They could have just gave us like a straight ahead Michael versus Laurie. They're just fighting for the whole 2 hours or whatever. Not wait till the end. They wait till like the end for them to like actually like fight it out. I'm like, come on.
Right, that was kind of
Yeah,
anticlimactic.
yeah. Like it was different. Like wait, like when the director said it was gonna be different, he was not lying. It's different.
All right. Let's see. All right.
Oh man. Sam is like, don't bring him on.
Oh, funny. All right, let me get my notes together. No, you're gonna get it, Patrick.
He said, play the clip.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna play a new clip. Give me a second.
Oh man.
Cause me and Mike were dying from this clip and shit. I'm ready to start whenever you are.
So,
All right, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to an episode of our Rock View. This is boy Reg in the building. I got my other homeboy Trout with me.
bro.
Um, so before I start, you know, I got a new clip I want to play just in case anybody wants to say some stupid shit. You know, this, if anybody wants to come correct at me and shit like that, like chat, I'll play this clip right here. Give me 1 second. Alrighty. That's a fucking clip for y'all.
What is that?
You saw what?
What is that?
You remember that sketch from In Living Color when they were going after Def Comedy Jam and everybody was just going
Yeah.
crazy in the audience, and then they had that one segment where David Allen Greer was just laughing like a baby.
Wow.
But yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah. So the album we're gonna talk about today is the Beatles with Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. This album came out in 1967 on the label Parlophone and shit like that. This is the beginning of our psychedelic week, tripped out week, whatever you want to call it, and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And this is just us, just talking about some real fucked up, not fucked up, some real trippy shit.
Okay.
It's gonna be a mixture of psychedelic rock, R&B, hip hop. We're gonna leave these albums as a surprise and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, man. For one, let's get this shit started. We're going to talk about what many people consider the greatest album of all time. You know what I'm saying? What many people consider the true textbook on how to make a rock album. What many people consider the greatest psychedelic rock album of all time. We'll talk about this shit right here. Um, whew, I don't even know where to begin with this album. You know what I'm saying? Singles this album was known for. I want to say like singles where Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. I want to say that was a single. Hold on. Give me 1 second, because Wikipedia is not telling me shit. Okay, singles. Not this album didn't come out with no singles. Okay, so pretty much they said the album didn't really come out with no single, which I don't really believe. But they had songs like Strawberry Fields Forever and Penny Lane, which they were recorded around that time and stuff like that. But you know what I'm saying? And they came out as singles. They didn't really become part of the album and stuff like that too. That makes sense. But I want to say like songs like Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds was a single. I want to say A Day in the Life was a single. I want to say that was a single as well too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm just going by the rim right now and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? This was produced by George Martin. My Beatles fans, y'all should know who George Martin is. He's one of the people that's regarded as the fifth Beatle. He died a couple years ago too. Rest in peace to him. And yeah, if you guys don't know, he had excuse me, John Lennon on guitar, acoustic and lead guitar. He also plays some piano here. Paul McCartney on bass, also playing pianos, organs, and stuff like that. George Harrison on rhythm and acoustic guitar, playing the sitar, timbera, and the somero, and Ringo on the drums, congas, all that shit. So I've I've talked about Beat albums, Revolver, and I've talked about Abbey Road. I told you guys I was going to talk about this album pretty much when I actually got my hands on it, and this is now my kind of have a love-hate relationship for. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really think this is the greatest Beatles album ever. I'm more of a Revolver kind of guy. Some days I might even go with Abbey Road
Yeah.
and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Also, this is see the reason why I wanted to do this tripped out week really was just to mostly just finally talk about this album and what I felt like really was psychedelic music and stuff like that too. Because there's I've talked about plenty of psychedelic rock in the past. Like,
Yeah.
of course, we talked about the Doors discography,
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix experience, and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. And albums. Just letting you know, like like there's albums like Mothers of Invention, the Freak Out album, which I did want to talk about, but I actually want to actually get my hands on the album before I actually talk about that, if that makes sense.
Man.
Like that too. So yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? So, and the thing about this album too was like this album came out like I think like a year or two after the Beatles' Pet Sounds, which I mean not the Beatles, the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds album and stuff, which in popular opinion I consider that more of like more psychedelic than this album. On
Right.
some hell, I even consider Mothers of Invention Freak Out more psychedelic, but that's another story for a different day. We even talked about the Velvet Underground, which Try didn't really care about too much. You know what I'm saying? If you want to count them as psychedelic, I would say Garage Band and stuff like that too. I consider this album more art rock than psychedelic.
Mhm.
I kind of consider like the Magical Mystery Tour more psychedelic than Sergeant Pepper. Hey, I mean, don't give me the Magical Mystery Tour. I feel like that's very underrated and
Right.
stuff like that. Like that song had like album had I Am the Walrus. It had Flying and stuff like that. Like some of the Beatles' most underrated tracks were on that fucking album and stuff like that. But that's gonna be another story for a different day. Let's actually talk about this album. So around this time the album came out, or that they were around this time, like in the mid to late '60s, the Beatles was kind of getting away from that whole innocent phase. They were kind of tired of being known as the Mop Tops boy band or whatever like that. They also got entangled in some controversies. Well, mostly John Lennon and stuff like that. He said the Beatles were more popular than Jesus and stuff, which caused a huge controversy, and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people kind of boycotted the Beatles and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? We're also dealing with the death of their manager George Brian Epstein and stuff like that too, who had died around this year. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people have said that he was the guy that kind of kept the Beatles together and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And without that, the Beatles could kind of like slowly dissolving with one another, which I'm gonna save that for a different day. And of course, that you had like them plenty of like rumors that they were going to break up and stuff like that. George Harrison felt like he was being underappreciated and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Um, so when they were working on this album, Paul McCartney kind of wanted to take like a different approach, and he pretty much wanted like the band to like have alternate personalities and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So they started discovering LSD and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And that pretty much changed a lot of their songwriting, to say the least. You know what I'm saying? Around this time too, they were also, getting experiment. They were experimenting a lot more with like Indian music, especially when they traveled to India and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Well, George Harrison, he took an influence to that shit. You know what I'm saying? He took an influence into like the Indian music and stuff too. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, pretty much it was around this time, like Paul McCartney was becoming more of like the stronghold, the strong leader of the Beatles and stuff like that, and he was pretty much in charge with the whole direction and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And then you kind of had like a bit more songs where it's like the Beatles where, well, Paul and John, you can tell what's a Paul song and you can tell what's a John song, which I'm gonna save that when we talk about one certain song on this album and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's a lot of history when you try to talk about the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper. So I'm trying to do my best to actually condense it and stuff like that too. I still keep it on point. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, around this time, they stopped touring and stuff like that too. They were becoming more of like a studio only band and shit too. You know what I'm saying? And this album, this album when it came out, like a lot of the rock fans and critics, they pretty much said that this is the album where it's like it took the album format really seriously. Like yeah, you had albums like Bob Dylan's Highway 61 Revisited, and you had albums like the Beatles' Pet Sounds too. You know what I'm saying? But it was pretty much this album that a lot of people was just like looking at it like art. You know what I'm saying? And this album to this day is still getting studied. It's still getting studied and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of fans, they pretty much everyone like Rolling Stone magazine said that for a while this was the greatest album in rock and music history and stuff like that too.
They
Now
had
now
like 10 Beatles albums on that countdown. That was ridiculous.
yeah, but then they redid the list and pretty much the Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. It's like the number one album now and
Great
stuff like
album.
that too.
Great
Yeah,
album.
very great album. So yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? So let's talk about this album cover. This album cover right here, it has the Beatles and then it has
A lot of
all
shit
these
going on that album cover.
all these historical figures and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, pretty much like a fucking collage and stuff. You have people like if you
The
look like
Beatles.
you got like Bob Dylan in the background.
You
You have
got the
fucking
Beatles in the front again.
yeah. You got Marilyn Monroe. You
Mm.
got Marlon Brando and stuff like that. Then you have like historical figures like Albert Einstein, Sigmund Freud, and it was crazy too because it was controversy with this album cover that John Lennon he wanted to add Hitler and Jesus Christ and
Wow.
Gandhi, but this is like right after the whole controversy and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And people were kind of also upset because they didn't have Elvis Presley on his album cover too. And pretty much, Paul McCartney said, and I quote, Elvis was too important and too far above the rest even to mention
Mm.
and stuff like that. I'm just like, really? Okay. All right. Anyway. Hell, but they also have Sonny Liston here too. You know what I'm saying? And what if it wasn't for this album cover, you wouldn't have, Midnight Marauders, because Q-Tip have said that, the Midnight Marauders album cover
Mhm.
was influenced by like the Sgt. Pepper cover and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Because
That's a great album cover.
they did three versions of the album cover, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yeah. Even I remember the promo stickers. Even the promo stickers was like that. It was album cover.
Right. Yeah, man. That was pretty dope and shit too. So
Yeah.
give me 1 second.
Yeah.
All right, sorry about that. All right, so yeah, man. Of course, they got the lyrics printed in the back.
Back when there was lyrics to our album.
Right. Oh well, yeah, and this is around the time when they started growing mustaches and stuff
Why
like
why they
that.
all dressed up like they're part of a marching band?
That's the point. It's like
Oh,
it's like a fucking circus like atmosphere and stuff like that.
mhm.
It's like they tried so hard not to be like the Beatles on this album and stuff too.
Right.
So yeah, man. So the moment you guys have been waiting for, let's talk about this album. This album has 13 tracks. Let's get this shit started. Track number 1, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Man, this what a way to start off the album and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You got fucking Paul McCartney pretty much like yelling his ass off, introducing like the fucking band and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I love the guitar work from John and George and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I definitely feel like they did their thing on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. This fucking song was definitely It was definitely a very dope. I love the overdubbing on this, and it's kind of ironic too because we're also talking about Hendrix. 3 days after the album came out, Jimi Hendrix he opened a concert when he played this song, and Paul McCartney and George Harrison were very impressed that Hendrix learned this song so quickly. But hey, it's Jimi Hendrix and stuff, so
Man,
what do you expect? Which I never even fucking knew that, so that's interesting.
I think it was a great song, to start off the album, nice beat, the guitars. It's I feel like listening to this album, there's a lot of songs that are iconic in pop culture still, and people can sing along to them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is one of those songs, and um, you know, Paul is a legend. He definitely did his thing on this song.
Yes, he did. He did his thing on this track right here. Um, Track number two, with a little help from my friends. So this was actually a song sung by Ringo. You know what I'm saying? It was never released as a single, but it's actually got like a lot of popularity with fans. Fans call this a fan favorite and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think this song is okay, but unpopular opinion, I'm more of a fan of the Joe Cocker version. Yes, the version that was on the Wonder Years show, the original Wonder Years,
Right.
not the trashy ass reboot they got now and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Did, Nothing against Ringo, honestly, because everyone has their shit to say about Ringo, but I a lot of the songs on certain albums, like the song that he's singing on,
Mhm.
probably like my least favorite. I'm mostly just a fan of his drumming around this period. Like if you guys watched the Revolver review, I said that was some of his best drumming he's done on the Beatles and stuff like that. So yeah, this song was pretty okay.
I love it. Love the guitars on it, the beat. I get by with a little help from my friends. I get by
Yeah,
with a little help from my friends. I love that. Like I said, like it sounds like one of those American what they call American Pie type of songs, and
right.
a classic record to me. And I've heard this like so many times. It's one of those like Beatles staples that the fans love, and thought it was a great record.
I definitely feel you about that. Track number three, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Possibly my favorite track off this album. Keyword possibly because it's kind of tied with another track. So this song was kind of controversial because people thought like the title was Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, that it was like a song about LSD and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Which if you really listen to the song and whatnot, it definitely had a very distinctive sound. Like it's kind of one of the more songs I can really say was very trippy, psychedelic and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? And John has said that it was actually inspired by his son Julian. He came home from nursery school with a drawing, and he called the drawing like Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds and stuff like that because he actually based Lucy off a classmate and stuff too. You know what I'm saying? So John he loved the drawing so much that he immediately wrote a song based on that, and then pretty much Paul McCartney he also loved like he also wanted to add influence from like the Lewis Carroll novel Alice in Wonderland and stuff like that to it. You know what I'm saying? Very, very, very dope song. Again, I love the instrumentation on that track and stuff like that. I love the lines like where he says, "Picture yourself in a boat on a river with tangerine trees and marmalade skies. Somebody calls you, you answer quite slowly. A girl with kaleidoscope eyes." And stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Um, Again, you can pretty much tell, like this was like more John Lennon style, kind of style of songwriting and stuff like that too. I can't talk today, but hey, but Yeah, man. This song right here was very, very, very dope. George Harrison also plays the tambura on this song. Very dope Indian instrument as well too. So, yeah, man, it's been. Oh, and I forgot to mention a couple more things about this track. The song with the LSD acronym, it got them banned from by the BBC because they thought it was about drug references and stuff like that. So, and to this day, it still get people still think the song is about drugs and shit too. So, yeah, very, very, very dope song.
I think John killed it. He sounded
Yes.
great. Had a nice beat, nice guitar playing. Definitely one of my favorites on the album. I didn't know what the hell it was about, from the song title, but yeah, I mean, you could look at the song title and be like, oh, that has to be something about drug use or getting high or something. But I thought it was a great song.
Yeah, very, very, very dope song. All right. Next track, Getting Better. Um, Pretty solid song and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Pretty solid song. It's not really among my favorites and stuff like that, but at the same time, it's pretty much mostly a song based off like mostly like song based off Paul McCartney. He was walking his dog and stuff like that, and he thought the sun was on the rise when they were walking and stuff like that too. So it's pretty much a song based off that. You know what I'm saying? The song was kind of infamous because when they were recording this song, John Lennon, he pretty much complained that he was not feeling too good because he accidentally took some LSD where he thought it was an upper and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And they actually had to take him to the roof. They actually had to take him up to the roof for him to like get some air and stuff too, because he was having like a bad trip and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So
They
yep,
didn't
I
label
just thought,
the pills they were taking back then.
nah, not back then and shit.
No,
Um, and so you said what?
no, go.
Uh, and so the crazy thing also about that time, about that session, was that Paul McCartney actually had to take John Lennon home, and he actually took some LSD with John. And that was actually the first time Paul actually took LSD and stuff too. So
Um,
yeah,
I thought it was a great song, nice beat, nice guitar play. The lyrics. I have to admit, it's getting better. It's getting better all the time. I have to admit, it's getting better. It's getting better since you've been mine. I loved it. I thought it was a great track, a solid cut on this album. So this song is about them taking LSD.
no, it's just pretty much about Paul happy kind of self and stuff like that.
Right,
When it's a Paul McCartney song, when it's a John Lennon song. That's all I gotta say.
right. The Paul does the happy songs.
Yes.
He does the happy songs. Yeah,
Yeah, John at this time was doing the more out there,
more,
introspective
yeah,
kind of song.
more realistic songs.
Yeah.
I feel you.
And so next track we got is Fixing a Hole. You know what I'm saying? Again, this was another cool song. Had like a more baroque pop feel to it and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Um, Pretty much, in an interview, Paul McCartney said that this song was pretty much about a hole in the road where the rain gets in and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Um, and it actually has a double meaning to pot and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, the white people call it pop. We call it like weed, bud, all that fucking shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, and a lot of fans at that time, they thought the song was about heroin. They thought the song was about heroin and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And because the reason why they thought it was about heroin was because when somebody said they're about to get a fix, it's commonly known saying that they're about to go score some heroin and stuff
Right.
like that too. Whereas, it's honestly, when people say, oh, I'm gonna get a fix and stuff like that too, it doesn't necessarily just mean heroin. Because I've heard many people also say that phrase when they want to get some fucking coke and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? But I don't do drugs. This is just from what I looked up, just letting y'all know and stuff like that too. So this is actually the first song the Beatles actually recorded on the studio, other than the one owned by their label EMI and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They recorded this at the Regent Sound Studio.
Man.
So yeah,
Yeah, it was a good song. This they saying, I'm fixing a hole where the rain gets in, stops my mind from wondering. Love the beat, the bass line, a solid cut.
yeah, that bass line again was pretty good and shit too. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Um, Next we're gonna get to "She's Leaving Home." You know what I'm saying? This pretty much was again another pretty cool track. Again, not really one of my favorites off this album, but this was actually one of the few tracks where Lennon and McCartney they definitely took some turns songwriting and stuff like that too. So this song was pretty much based on a true story Paul read on the Daily Mirror,
Mm-hmm.
whereas it's talking about this girl by the name of Melanie Cole pretty much ran away with an older boyfriend and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's funny too because he had actually met this Cole girl 3 years earlier and stuff like that too when he chose her as a prize winner for miming on ITV's Ready Steady Go and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So that's a bit of a weird irony and shit too. You know what I'm saying? So um. It was alright. It was only again one of my favorites off this record, but it was alright.
It was melodic. It had like a somber tone to it. It had pianos on it and violins. I liked it. Antoine said the song almost made him cry. It's kind of a sad song. It had that feel to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Especially if you talk about like a young girl leaving home to go be with a guy or something like that. So yeah, I could see how that would play into the song.
right. Alrighty. Next song, "Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite." Um, this is a pretty dope track right here. You can tell this is pretty much a John Lennon song and stuff like that too. This song was pretty much based off the 19th century circus poster for Pablo Thank you, if I'm saying his name right, Circus Royal appearance at the Rockdale. You know what I'm saying? It's actually another song that got them banned from the BBC because of the phrase Henry the Horse and stuff like that too, you know what I'm saying? Which people thought again it was about heroin and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? And John Lennon has also denied this notion and stuff like that, saying it's not anything about heroin whatsoever and shit, you know what I'm saying? Um yeah, pretty cool song. I love how twisted the song was and stuff like that too. It's kind of crazy too because the inspiration for the song happened after Lennon went to an antique shop during when they were doing the video for Strawberry Fields Forever and Penny Lane and stuff like that. And that's when he saw the poster of the Pablo dude and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Pretty dope song right here. One of my all time favorites from this album.
It did have a circus type of sound to it to me. Um,
Right.
but so did another song that we're gonna talk about. But yeah, it was okay.
True. Now we're gonna go to side two, the second half. We're gonna get to the only song sung solo by George Harrison, "Within You, Without You." Very dope song right here. This actually next to "Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds," probably my favorite track off this album. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. With this track right here, "Within You, Without You," it was pretty much a very distinctive sound because it was a very great influence when it came to that Indian style music. And George Harrison spent 6 weeks meditating with this mentor Ravi Shankar and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And so he started getting more influenced with the Hindu traditions and stuff too, which he would pretty much carry that. He would pretty much carry that for the rest of his life. Pretty again, a pretty good song. Pretty much just has that. You gotta look to find yourself within, and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this song right here, it's trippy without actually trying to be trippy and psychedelic.
It sounded like some shit that Cypress Soul used for Timbals of Boom. That's what it sounded like.
Hmm.
Arabian Nights shit.
Interesting.
I wasn't a fan of this. I don't think it fit
What?
within the sound of the album. I don't think it fit. I mean, to me,
I
you know,
disagree.
what is it with these groups that along the way in their career they what is it? They practice Buddhism or something, and they just influence. They just put that in their music. Beastie Boys did this around the time that Ill Communication was out. Cypress Hill been doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Is it something that is it something that they when they go to India or wherever is it something that they're finding out there that they just incorporate in their music?
I guess it's just that they just want to find that peace within.
I
That's why.
just
That's what I
I
find.
didn't I don't know. I just when you hear the album, I just feel like it didn't go with the album to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I just not a fan of it. When I hear it, I'm hearing Cypress Soul. That's what I'm hearing when I hear this.
Understandable and shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. But yeah, this was. I actually like this fucking track. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we got to
Give me the
agree to
happy
disagree.
songs.
You said what?
Give me the happy songs.
Alright. Next track, When I'm 64. I never liked this track. It's actually my least favorite track off this album. It sounds more like a fucking nursery rhyme kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Again, this is a Paul McCartney song. And he wrote this like when he was about like 14 and stuff like that. You
Wow.
know what I'm saying? And so it was. He sped up this. They sped up the song to make Paul McCartney's voice sound younger and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? The song is about a young man who started telling his lover that he wants to grow old with her together and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Again, I didn't care for this. If it was on maybe Revolver or maybe even Rebel Soul, I can see where it will fit. But this song, I kind of like. Yeah, I'm good on this one.
It sounds like a nursery rhyme. It sounds like a jingle. It sounds like circus music, but I like it. You know, because this is Paul McCartney. And who does happy songs better than him? You know what I'm saying? And you got horns playing. You got pianos. It sounds like a tuba. On this track, the lyrics, if I've been out till a quarter to three, would you lock the door? Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64? Boom, boom. I loved it. I just thought it sounded silly, but Paul, he made it what it is. I mean, like I remember this song, hearing this song when I was little. You know what I'm saying? And it has something about it that it makes you remember. Or maybe it's the music about it or whatever. But I thought it was a good song.
Mm. Understandable. Shit, I guess you just like the Paul McCartney happy songs a bit more than I do.
We need everybody does dark shit. We're gonna talk about dark music from other artists. Everybody does dark shit. In this times now, we need happy music. I'm not talking about Pharrell. We need positive, uplifting music for people that's going through a lot of shit in this world right now. So if somebody could play this album and they could play When I'm 64 and they like it, that's good.
Right. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I don't know. I just wish it could have been executed. I don't mind happy, so I just wish it could have been executed maybe much better.
Well, how would have done the song though? Would you change the music up or
I'll change the beat.
you change the beat?
Yeah,
Okay, so that's the whole damn thing then.
yeah. I mean, like I don't like I said. To me, the beat was like the main thing that really didn't really fit for me and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't care for that beat. It was a bit too, like when you watching one of those old, you watching one of those old kids shows and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And let's just say like you watching it and they trying to like do some shit and it's just like all like background music. It kind of reminds me of that. Like, some shit you'll probably hear from Garfield and Friends, if that makes
Right.
sense.
So I mean, if they're doing song, I mean, if you hear songs like Obladi and Hey Jude and
Oh
when I'm
God.
64, when I'm
I hate
64,
I hate Hey
but
Jude
those
so
are the songs
fucking
that people remember.
I hate
You
Hey
know what I'm
Jude
saying?
so
So you
fucking
would rather hear them do come together and a day
yes.
in life and stuff. Okay,
Yes. I'm more for come together. I want you, she's so heavy. Um Happiness is a warm gun. You know what I'm saying? I'm more of the I hate to say I'm more of the John Lennon written songs and stuff like John Lennon. Nothing against Paul McCartney. I love Paul McCartney, but
right.
when they did shit like that, like from Rubber Soul to Abbey Road and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Their songwriting got more better when they were together. They did stupid shit like Yesterday and
You didn't like
Please
that. You didn't
Please.
like yesterday.
I to
See,
me
mhm.
the most overrated Beatles song ever.
See, those are the songs I remember when they were playing yesterday or help or whatever.
I can deal with Help. Help kind of grew on me because
Okay.
they were still kind of getting away from that innocent kind of feel to it. But when they did shit like you know what I mean, yeah, yeah, all that
You
kind
didn't
of
like
shit,
that.
nah, that happy shit, nah, I
So
ain't
we,
care
we
for
love the Beatles, but we might love two different versions of the Beatles.
that. Like I'm more for well, even when I mean like when I like the dark shit, I don't even always just like the dark shit. I like the Harrison song, like something. The song "Something" from Abbey Road. I love that song.
Hmm.
I love Taxman. Hell, I even like Yellow Submarine was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was good.
Got to get you into my life. That I like that song. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Okay.
I like when they go against the grain. That's the
Hmm.
Beatles I like and shit.
Right.
Sam said back in the USS. Oh, see now y'all can't. I can't even talk about. We can't really talk about White Album, but
Right.
that might have to be a whole month review because that that might have to be a whole fucking month and shit.
A whole Beatles month.
I'll think about it. But that's again. I want to get the album before I actually talk about that. But
Right.
yeah. So where we at? Lovely Rita.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lovely Rita. This song was I actually like this song, and it was actually written by Paul McCartney. It's actually a happy song by Paul
Yeah.
McCartney and shit. So, surprise, surprise, surprise. Okay, but for real though, so Lovely Rita is a song pretty much about a meter maid and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And it was actually rumored to have been named Meta Davis, who gave him a parking ticket outside the recording studio and stuff too. You know what I'm saying? But McCartney said that she looked like a Rita to him and shit too. I love the piano
Hmm.
that both him and George Martin played and stuff like that too. And the song was pretty much cool. That Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys said it's actually his favorite Paul McCartney song and stuff like that too. So yeah, man, pretty cool.
They were just writing about anything. Like the fact that John could
Right?
he could look at a picture that his son gave him and be like, "Yo, I'm gonna make a song out of that." And the meter maid, gave them a ticket because they were parked in the wrong place or whatever. I'm gonna write a song about that. I thought that it was good. It was a nice
Not a song
song.
about the shit they took on the toilet, man.
Right. They were just writing about anything, you know what I'm saying? And I mean that goes to show you how great this group was and you know, it was a good song. I love the pianos on it as well.
Definitely. I Next song we got motherfucking Good Morning, Good Morning. Again, another very, very good song right here. I love the horns that was used in this fucking track. Uh, I can't wait to see Char's reaction to see what to see. Can't wait to see Char's reaction when I tell you the inspiration for this song and shit like that. You know
What
what
was
I'm
the
saying?
inspiration for this? I'm dying to hear. What was it like? They had like a chick over, and then she spent the night, and she left home, and they just wrote it about.
So, John Lennon was watching a commercial about fucking cornflakes and shit, and he pretty much wrote a song based off of a commercial.
Holy shit! That was a good ass bowl of cornflakes, yo. What?
And it's crazy because it was a happy kind of song, but John Lennon, he's pretty much said he didn't care for it. He pretty much said it was like a throwaway kind of track. Cause he gotta be a philosophical kind of nigga.
Right.
He feel like this kind of shit is beneath him. But honestly, I kind of felt like this song should have been one of the first tracks on this album, like probably after Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Band, and then you kind of have Good Morning after this, and then maybe
Right.
with a little help from my friends. It kind of worked like that, but
Man.
yeah, it's pretty much cool song and stuff like that. I like it.
Yeah, the horn part was good. The guitars, you got like some pet sounds at the end of the song with like birds chirping and dogs barking and shit, lions and all that, and I thought it was good. The fact that he can make a song out of just cornflakes is just crazy, but this guy was brilliant.
Right, and then we have the Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band of reprise and stuff like that, which is pretty much the same song, but they sped up the tempo a bit and have more instrumentation.
Right.
Again, I like this version a bit more and stuff like that. I just wish it was a bit longer, honestly,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's a fucking reprise. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, very, very, very dope track.
Yeah, it was more funkier. You had more instrumentation,
Right,
more. It should have been longer. It was like real short. I thought it was good.
definitely. And now the last track, A Day in the Life. Very great track. Well, I like. So there's one thing I didn't care for. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna save that. But so this track was pretty much written by John Lennon and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It was written. He wrote the opening and the closing sections and Palm and stuff like that. In
Uh-huh.
my opinion, I kind of feel like this is probably the most important song when it came to like Lennon and McCartney post 1966 and stuff like that. And I'm gonna get to
Really,
that in a
this
minute.
song, you think that's the most important song?
Yeah, let me explain. Let me explain.
Uh,
Because like John Lennon's lyrics was like mostly inspired by like a lot of newspaper reports and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Most importantly, the death of the Guinness head Tara Brown and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And he pretty much also used also random newspaper stories and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And it was just a very cinematic kind of song and stuff like that. And then the part that I loved the most was when you got to like the instrumentation and stuff like
yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? Where the sound just keeps escalating and escalating and escalating and escalating. And the thing about that song was the fact that they had an orchestra, and they was told that the orchestra should play like the loudest note and stuff like that. They should play like the loudest note. You know what I'm saying? And then you think the song is about to go to a whole new different section, but then this is the part where I just like I'm gonna get a lot of flack, but I didn't like the bridge, Paul McCartney's version. like fuck, woke up, fell out of bed, dragged a comb across my head. I was like, it was so anticlimactic. I'm sorry, it was just so. I thought some shit was gonna pop off or some shit. I thought Lennon was gonna do some Jim Morrison kind of yell. I didn't know what I was gonna think. I was like, what the fuck is this shit, man? What the fuck is this? Like, I don't give a fuck about this nigga trying to catch the bus and shit. Like, what the fuck is this? How are we gonna go from you read the news about some girl that got killed, and then you can come up with this shit right here? And this is why I say it's like narratively the most important song was because as you saw both John and Paul McCartney do better as songwriters,
Man,
both of them were just on different musical stratospheres that will fully be explored when they come into the White Album and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
man.
Yeah, man. This probably is my third favorite song. It was so close to being my favorite song. It was just based off Lennon's part. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
feel free to disagree. You know.
I mean, it's Paul. Like he loves the happy songs and the happy situations. So I mean, I don't know why you would expect anything else from him. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was good. I don't know if I would have ended this song off of the album. It could have been
Right.
higher up in the track listing, but it was. I didn't know I have a problem with it.
Understandable. Understandable indeed.
Antoine says that it reminds him of Prince Purple Rain.
Interesting. Wow.
I don't know. I think Purple Rain was a great way to end off that album.
Right.
I don't know about this song. This song was good. I don't know if I'm gonna compare it to Purple Rain though.
I would have definitely ended it off with the reprise and shit.
Yeah, and the reprise could have been like give us a full version of that.
Exactly. They were just
So people
jamming.
have they choice of listening to the one that started off the album or the reprise at the end.
Right. Those motherfuckers was just jamming
Yeah.
and shit on that fucking reprise. It was not even funny. But yeah, man. Overall, this album is a very good album. It's a very influential album and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But I have a few issues with certain tracks.
Mhm.
Well, one of the issues I do have an issue with some of the sequencing on this album and stuff too. I kind of felt like some songs could have been placed a little higher up on the album. Some songs could have been placed down and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Um, I definitely feel like there was some tracks that didn't really fit, or I wouldn't really call like psychedelic and stuff like that too. Which also brings me to like my main point of this album and stuff like that. When people could call this, say it's like the breakthrough when it comes to psychedelic music. Honestly, like I said, I kind of consider like the magical tour and stuff like that. More psychedelic. And hell, I even see Revolver as more psychedelic and stuff like that too. And then you gotta understand too. When people want to say, "Oh, something is psychedelic," or something is tripped out and some shit like that, it's just like another thing of like going against the grain and shit like that too. Being on the influence of drugs and all that shit too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, just saying all that shit like albums like The Doors, like self-titled and stuff like that, which also came out the same year. I would say that was more psychedelic than this album and shit too. You know what I'm saying? But what I said, listen to this album if you want to like get acquainted with the Beatles. Surprisingly, I would say no. I would say no because it's like a more experimental album and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But I would say maybe start with either Revolver or Rubber Soul, or hell, even if you want to start with a discussion like the Meet the Beat with the Beatles album and stuff like that too. But I'm gonna give this album a 4.5 out of 5.
I think it was a great album. I think see like when I hear like the so called like McCartney happy songs, they were living in that era of peace and harmony and all that. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I think the music reflected on how society was, back then, with the Vietnam War going on and everything. And um, Paul had some great songs. John had some great songs, and we had like two, great vocalists of a legendary band, and the production was good. You have songs like "When I'm 64" and with little help from my friends and "Getting Better," "Fixing the Hole," Sergeant Pepper's "Lonely Hearts." I think it was a great album. I'm gonna give it 5 mics. I think this is one of their best albums. Um, so I like it.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Before I do the Jimi Hendrix experience, let me just get myself situated again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I keep forgetting it's 1 o'clock in the morning. So right after I do this video, I'm going straight to bed. Fuck this. I'm tired. But how did you like listen to the Beatles and shit?
I listened to the Beatles before. Like I listened to Abbey Road and the White Album, Revolver. So I'm not like new to the Beatles. You know what I mean? But they have so many albums. It's so like other albums from them I gotta hear.
Definitely. All right, all right. So now we're going to talk about the greatest guitarist of all time, Jimi Hendrix experience. Now, pretty much, I've already talked about all the albums in the past, I know, and stuff like that too, but, would try being a fan of Jimi Hendrix and shit. I definitely want to hear his opinion on on these albums. And as a bonus, I'm also going to give my thoughts on the Band of Gypsies album and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give my thoughts on that. So that's going to be a little treat for y'all. So, how we always do. How did you get into Jimmy?
I got a cousin in the Caribbean. My cousin Roger. He would come up like every couple of years, and he would stay with the family for like a couple of months. And he's like a huge. He's like the biggest Jimi Hendrix fan that I know. Like everything that's out on Jimi Hendrix, he has, whether it was VHS tapes or vinyl or posters, books, whatever it was regarding Jimi Hendrix. This man was out record hunting and collecting Jimi Hendrix memorabilia. And he was doing that for like, back when he was, at my house in the 90s, he was doing that. And just growing up and seeing like footage of Jimmy at, the legendary Star Spangled Banner performance he did at Woodstock back then was great. Um there's a Woodstock documentary on Netflix right now that came out earlier this year, and they talked about the first Woodstock and how iconic it was with Jimmy doing that performance. And is so many there's so many different movies and TV shows and car commercials that they've used his music in. And it's like when you hear it, you be like, oh, I remember this, hearing this song from the Toyota commercial or this song in this film or whatever. And he's just an iconic guitarist, and growing up and watching artists like Prince and Lenny Kravitz, you can tell like they were influenced by Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? I remember seeing there was like a BBC documentary on his life and him dying at 27, like like Janis Joplin and Amy Winehouse and all that. And it was great. You know what I'm saying? Like it's he had his issues with drugs and all that, and I think that seems to always come up within the conversation of his artistry. But for the time that he was here and giving us the albums and he was great. You can see why he's a legend. um I saw it. They have the biopic with Andre 3000 playing Jimmy, and that was good, but that didn't cover everything. It was mostly like when he started, and he had like this love affair going on, I think with like his manager or something, some chick in the movie. But they couldn't use the official music from Jimmy's estate, so it's basically like he had to like come up with his own songs for that. I think that's why a lot of people slept on that biopic. But, I thought it was a good biopic, and listening to Electric Ladyland was a phenomenal album.
Ooh,
Having the Electric Ladyland studios where like legendary albums were made at D'Angelo's Voodoo was made there, and Erica Badu. I think she made Mama's Gun there, and
yeah,
so many artists came through that studio, and like when they go there, they even talk about like just being at that studio and having that energy when they step into the studio. Like it just feels like kind of like legendary to them, and this man had an impact on music, and he still does. You know what I'm saying? And it's like really my first time talking about any Jimi Hendrix music at anywhere. So that was like my introduction to him. You know what I mean?
yeah, man. Ronnie said they also did a biopic movie with Wood Harris and Vivica.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one is on. I think that one is on Tubi. I haven't seen that one though.
that's on YouTube too.
That's on YouTube.
Yeah, I seen a little bit of that back. I mean, back when I was little, but I'm not gonna hold you.
Um,
I've read reviews on the movie, and they said it. I've seen a lot of mixed reviews, mostly
right.
mediocre reviews. So I'm waiting to the right time to see that one.
The Andre one is good because Andre actually looks like Jimi Hendrix. Like when he had the afro and he got like the slim build, he actually looks like Jimmy. In like they got the right one. It's just that he couldn't use the actual music from Jimmy in the film, but he has the look like Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, man. I definitely wish they would have used the music
Yeah.
and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, I have to see the Andre one day and stuff like
Yeah.
that
It's
too.
it's I believe it's still on Netflix. I saw it
Yeah,
like years ago, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago on Netflix.
yeah,
Yeah, but it's still on it.
yeah. I know one movie I want to see is when the Don Cheadle biopic when he did Miles Davis and shit.
I believe I saw that too. I believe I saw
Was
that
that
one.
good?
Yeah, yeah. They picked the right one for Miles Davis.
Of course, yes. Yeah, man. But how I got into Jimi Hendrix? I remember my band teacher. He actually played the song "Foxy Lady" and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I pretty much got into Hendrix. Because before then, I've mostly seen like the legacy of Hendrix, like Bob Marley, on like a lot of like merch and stuff like that too. And then people just just talking about how he was just such a great guitar player and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, and I heard like all those albums and stuff too. And I definitely feel like he definitely, to me, he definitely is the greatest guitar player ever. When it, not just rock music, but just music in general
Right.
and shit. Just the shit that he done with the guitar and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? I definitely feel like he definitely added a lot to it. I have other favorite guitarists, like of course, Jimmy Page, Prince, Frank Zappa, Mick Taylor.
Maybe
Just
we should do that one day, like a like favorite guitarist all time or something.
yeah, most definitely. Eddie Hazel from Parliament of Funkadelic, who I feel like is a very underrated guitarist and stuff like that. Too. To me,
Mhm.
he's the successor of Jimi Hendrix, in my personal opinion. Just based off the whole, just maggot brain, this maggot brain alone.
Right.
That's that's all I have to say. And I definitely got to do a full review on some of them early P Funk albums and shit too. So
That was see like I took guitar lessons. I took guitar lessons when I was like maybe 10, 11. But like what made me want to take guitar lessons was Prince. Like seeing Prince in Purple Rain and seeing how he performed on stage. And I would like be in the mirror and I would take like my mom's umbrella and then like put the strap over me like it was a guitar and start playing. So that's what made me take guitar lessons like every Saturday morning. And when I look at like old footage from like Jimi Hendrix playing. I'm like, yo, like he was better than Prince to me as a guitarist. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But like the guitar and drums are like my instruments. Like even though I couldn't play drums, and my mom would be like, "Yo, like you would make too much noise in the house." But guitar is like my instrument that I played because of Prince. But I think Jimmy, just watching Jimmy, you could tell like he was like head and shoulders above everybody else when it came to the instrument. You know,
Definitely. Yeah, man. Prince, man. He learned a lot from Hendrix and shit too.
right?
Yeah, man.
There's a lot. Santana was great too. Santana slash,
Yes.
Vernon Reed,
Yep, most definitely. I got another dope one. BB King. Don't
BB
forget him.
King. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, yes. But yeah, man. Let's get this shit started. We're gonna take it back to 1967. Same year, same year we pretty much talked about Sergeant Pepper. We're gonna talk about Are You Experienced? The Jimi Hendrix Experience. Oh, by the way, I forgot to talk about this. The Jimi Hendrix Experience consists of members No Jimi Hendrix, Mitch Mitchell on drums, and Noel Redding on bass. Which I have to say this once and once for all. I love Hendrix, but I feel like Noel and Mitch held their own, especially Mitch Mitchell on drums. Where I feel like it's a
Oh yeah,
very,
definitely.
very, very, very. He's one of my favorite drummers. Like I
Yeah,
put him up there with like Keith Moon, John Bonham, and stuff like that. 'Cause I feel like his drum playing definitely laid the groundwork for like a lot of the drummers that came, especially in the heavy metal genre and
right.
stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
The,
And I
his
feel
his
like,
drumming his drumming on Access that
oh,
was
son,
crazy,
oh,
crazy.
woo!
That's some of the
I knew
best
that. I
drumming
knew
I've
that.
heard on
Yeah,
anybody's album.
yeah. I knew there was a reason why I liked you, man. I knew it. I knew there was a reason why I liked you.
Yeah, man. I mean, I hear shit. Like my ears are universal, so it's like I pick up on shit. I'm like, yo, like his drumming. Like listen to the all that whole album of Access, and his
Yes,
drum play on there was like phenomenal.
I agree, man. Because I've always said, like I'm not to discredit Jimi Hendrix because Jimi Hendrix deserves all the accolades, all the praise he gets, but the band held their own. Like the
Yeah,
chemistry with the band held their own, and even with Noah Redding too, who a lot of people have said, even Jimmy said that he was pretty much a subpar bass player. Which
right.
okay, when it comes to him, his bass at the time, he wasn't like a John Entwistle of the Who and stuff like that. But again, I feel like he held his own and stuff like that too. I feel like he held his own and shit. Um, most of the bass playing on Electric Lady, I'm just spoil it for you right now. That was mostly Jimmy on bass when it came to Electric Ladyland. Just saying that right now, but
Right.
especially with the first two out, the Axis on Bold as Love, I feel like his bass was just as good there
Yeah.
and stuff too. But we'll definitely talk about that. Yeah, man. All You Experience. This album came out in 1967. Oh man, this was a very great album, man, and shit like that.
Yeah.
I really don't have a favorite Jimi Hendrix album, honestly. I don't, because I like all of them the same way. But if I was to pick one based off guitar playing, this might be my favorite one and shit. You know what I'm saying? Just based off guitar playing and stuff. This was the first album that was produced by Chas Chandler, who will be like the main producer of their sound, and he was also the original bassist to the group The Animals and stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Yes, the same Animals that made the song House of the Rising Sun. But yeah, this album right here, very, very dope. Love this shit. They actually did two versions of this album. Like I mentioned, like I think like last week or the week before, they did a UK version and then they did a North American version. And the North American version had Hey Joe, which that was his breakthrough when it came to the United States and shit too. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but the album itself was very dope. I love this fucking album, like Purple Haze, which
Yes.
I forgot to mention. Purple Haze was also yes. Nah, nah, nah,
That song.
nah.
That
Damn yeah.
song, everybody should know that song. It's been used in commercials and movies. Everybody should know that.
For real. Yeah, man. That song like that, I want to say that's probably one of his most signature tracks and stuff like that too. Fire. I love that track.
Fire.
My favorite track, Third Stone from the Sun. Ah man, like I got like P Funk vibes, I got Pink Floyd vibes from that track right there. You know what I'm saying? But you know the ballads to me, I feel like some of the best ballads he's ever done
Right.
was on this record. You know, The Wind Cries Mary.
Cries Mary, yeah.
Jeez, like nigga, what? And I got a question for you, Try.
Uh-huh.
Who was his main influence when it came to guitar playing?
His main influence?
Yeah, you'll be surprised.
Is it somebody black?
Yes.
So Chuck Berry.
Ooh, you're close,
No?
close.
Who was it?
Curtis Mayfield.
Okay.
Yeah,
Curtis Mayfield.
he was
I
very
love him.
influenced by Curtis Mayfield and shit. And I think this is like, and he can even tell when on this song right here too. When Cries Mary, that's a very beautiful track right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I would give this album a 5 out of 5. If I would have given it a 10 out of 10, I would have given it a 10 out of 10. Hey,
I want to say this is like his most influential album on pop culture, because
I agree.
there's at least 5 or 6 songs that were used for like commercials or films. You know, Purple Haze, iconic record. I love the guitars on that. You know, Fire, another song that was used in commercials, and like a lot of these car commercials, they just like go through Jimmy's vault and be like, "Yo, we want this for our commercial." You know,
And the Who songs too.
yeah, and the Who songs also, right? You know, Foxy Lady, another song that was used in the Hollywood film. Love the drums on that, the guitar play, the bass line. The Wind Cries Mary, a great ballad like you had mentioned earlier. Hey Joe, fire.
What you
Love that
gonna
song.
do with that guitar?
I was trying to remember what film I seen on it, because there was a movie I was watching and they played Hey Joe, and it was like somebody had died or they had committed suicide or something. And I'm like, I can't remember. I know it's gonna come to me later, but where they use that song for, like, you know, like somebody dying in that film, whatever. May This Be Love. Love the drum play on that. This is an iconic album to me. This is definitely Five Mics. And you know what's fucked up? I had remember I told you I went to that record store earlier this year, and they had like a shitload of album, and I saw this album in the store and I never bought it. I'm like, yo, I gotta go back and get it. Definitely, because it was just sitting there with, and nobody was
Shame on
buying it.
you.
You know, but now watch when I go back and don't have it no more. But this is definitely an iconic album. It's trippy, it's melodic. We got a shit full of classic records on this album. So it's Five Mics for me.
Definitely. All right. 7 months later, he came out with the equally as good Axis Bonus Love. All right, so this is probably his best album songwriting wise. You know what I'm saying? You saw his growth as a songwriter with this fucking record too. You know what I'm saying? But this album had a lot of problems when it came to recording. For one, Hendrix actually left the the master tapes of the original mix of the album in a London taxi cab.
Oh, wow.
So they had to re-record certain tracks. And there was only one track, and it's irony because it's actually my favorite track off this album, that they weren't able to fully remake. And it was If 6 Was 9. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And with all these remakes, you saw Jimi Hendrix becoming more of a perfectionist when it came to this album. And you also saw him doing his thing when it came to mixing and engineering. And this caused a lot of fights between him and Chas Chandler, and also between him and Noah Redding and
Right.
stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And so Chas Chandler, he said he didn't want to work with Hendrix after this album and shit too, because he just said he couldn't take Hendrix's perfectionism and shit any much longer. So with this album coming out, man, this album you saw like a lot of influences when it came to like jazz and rock and pop and R&B. You know, a lot of I've seen a lot of songs on this album. Like a lot of diehard Jimmy fans love, like "Castles Made of Sand" was a very
Classic.
dope track right there, classic
Definitely.
track. You
Yes.
know, he's talking about his childhood. Excuse me, his childhood and shit.
Right.
There was my two favorite songs. Dana, Dana. If six was nine, you know,
Six is nine.
very very dope track. You know what I'm saying? I love everything about the lyrics, the
Mhm.
fucking jazz breakdown and shit like that. And then of course, you got me floating round and round. You got me floated natural. I was like, every time I'm in my car playing that fucking track, man, I go crazy and shit like
Mhm.
that. You know, I
Right.
love that fucking track. Love the drumming. Again, Mitch Mitchell on drums and shit like that. I love Noah Redding on bass, and then I love the background vocals and shit. And then
Yeah.
I love how the breakdown and Jimi Hendrix ad. I was like, this nigga dope, man. Like this nigga fucking dope and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love Wait Until Tomorrow was good. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, She's So Fine, which was a rare lead vocal from Noah Redding and shit too. You know what I'm saying? You know, this whole fucking album, man, this whole fucking album is sick as fuck.
Oh yeah.
I think Jimmy might be the only artist where all albums are like 5 out of 5 I've ever reviewed and shit. And if you guys watch those original reviews, you guys would know and shit too. So yeah, Access Bold as Love, man. It's another 5 out of 5.
Great album again, and like he stepped his songwriting game up on this album. With songs like Spanish Castle Magic and Wait Until Tomorrow. If six was nine, again another song I was using in a Hollywood film, iconic track. Castle Made of Sand, one of my favorite songs here. Noah Redding, he did his thing on She's So Fine. That was a great track. For like 2 minutes and 37 seconds, and Bold as Love, the last track on here. It was definitely a you could tell a difference between all you experienced in this album, with this content from Jimmy, and I thought it was a great album, and even I love the album cover, like with the Hindu art or whatever, and there was like some controversy behind the album cover or
Yeah.
something.
Yep.
Yeah, this was great. Definitely, I'm gonna give it like 5 mics.
Definitely. Now, the apex. If I was to maybe pick a single favorite album, it might be this one. Electric Ladyland.
Yes,
Yeah, you got it. Oh yeah, I got that one for you. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yes. To this day, I still want to get the original copy with the naked ladies on the album cover,
Right.
but I'm not trying to pay no $500 for that shit.
Crazy.
If anybody can get me a cheap copy with that cover, man, you'll be
Eric,
my
Eric,
best
where you at?
you'll be
Eric,
my
where
best
you at?
friend for life. You know. But yeah, man. So this album was fully produced by Jimi Hendrix
Right.
and shit. And it's actually their most successful album. You know what I'm saying? You also had him getting more funkier with
Yeah.
this fucking album. You got more funkier, you got more soulful and shit, right there, he has songs like Have You Ever Been to Electric Ladyland? Dope. The original Voodoo Child. I'm talking about the 14-minute version,
Yes.
which
The longer one. Yeah.
yes, I love that version. It kind of grew on me in years.
Right.
The slight I like Slight Return, but I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie and shit. Like it does get a bit overplayed and shit. You know what I'm saying? But
That's another signature song from him, though.
it is. But if I was to pick one signature song,
Uh,
it will probably be All Along the Watchtower, the Bob Dylan cover.
classic, classic. I love that song.
I'm not gonna lie. I never cared for that. I never cared for that song
Mhm.
and stuff like that. 'Cause I never cared for that Bob Dylan song itself. So I never really fucked with it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nothing against the cover because how he did the cover was dope. Because like I said, Bob Dylan, I like a few Bob Dylan songs, but
Mhm.
not like the biggest fan. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? But yeah, songs like Gypsy Eyes. That's a dope track right there. And then you had the fucking side three where it told a story, like Rainy Day, Dream
Mhm.
Away in 1983, Still Raining, Still Dream. Like they told a whole fucking story and shit. Like that was ill as fuck. You know, House Burning Down was dope. I mean, Hendrix did his fucking thing on this album and stuff
Yeah.
too. You know what I'm saying? Like sound wise, you could just feel the heat with this album and shit. You know what I'm saying? This to me, again, another 5 out of 5. Classic.
Definitely a great album. I don't I love both versions of Voodoo Child, like the long one and then the slight return one at the end. I thought that I think the slight return at the end is like the one that people know more than the long version though. But I think they're both great. Crosstown Traffic, another great record from Jimi Hendrix. All along the Watchtower, iconic. That's been played in films and stuff. And this is a great album. Another Five Mike album, and like he has a flawless discography for the short time that he was here, and the 3 albums he gave us is great. I don't have an issue with anything. Production was great. The guitar play from Jimmy was great. I love it.
Definitely. All right. So the experience broke up because Hendrix and Noel. Well, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. He pretty much fired Noel Redding and stuff like that too. Because like I said, he was still cool with Mitch Mitchell
Right.
and shit. But and a lot of people say the experience pretty much broke up and stuff like that. It's not as simple as that. Because at the time when Noel Redding left the group or fire whatever, he took a little break and he was touring a lot and he was pretty much under a contract dispute with his former manager Ed Chopin and PPX Enterprises. And he was still under contract, with Capitol Records and stuff like that too. So what he did was he pretty much reformed the experience and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Where he had Mitch Mitchell, he had people like Billy Cox. Hold on, let me see. Billy Cox, Buddy Miles, and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And they called themselves the Band of Gypsies and shit. You know what I'm saying? And so with this album and shit too, you saw more of like his soul and funk influences shining more because Buddy Miles and Billy Cox, they definitely did a lot of session playing when it came to R&B and soul musicians and stuff too. You know what I'm saying? And around this time too, Hendrix at this time, he was making like a lot of landmark performances and stuff too, where he performed in Woodstock, where he actually introduced the group on Woodstock. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think that performance the announcer said it was Jimi Hendrix experience and stuff like that. Whereas Hendrix came out and said no, it's actually we're nothing but a band of gypsies and shit too. You know what I'm saying? So and yes, this was the same Woodstock performance where you did the Star Spangled Banner and stuff too. You know what I'm saying? So this was pretty much like a live album that we're going to talk about and stuff like that. And this is actually the first time I actually heard this album in full.
Right.
And honestly, drum roll, this was a very great album. I did not expect anything less. it was a different sound for Hendrix. Like he still had like a lot of the rock sound, but like I said, with like Cox and Miles, they definitely add like another dimension and stuff like that when it came to like his artistry and stuff too. And it's very interesting too because around this time too, you gotta really think about where a lot of black music was around this time. Like you had Miles Davis getting into like the electric period with like in a silent way, the Bitches Brew, especially Bitches Brew
Right.
stuff too. Of course, you had Sly and the Family Stone. They did the same year they did the there's no, not the same year. They were doing a stand, and then they were getting ready for there's a riot going on, which came out in '71. Of course, the Impressions in 1969 came out with the Mod album and shit too. You know what I'm saying? And like you saw like a lot the emergence of funk music, like and stuff like that. But not just funk music. You had like more jazz fusion and shit too, because you still had like the funk with the James Brown. Of course, James Brown doing his thing at that same time too. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, this whole album, live album, is definitely very ill as fuck. Like my favorite track, Changes track,
Changes is great. Who was that singing on Changes?
Buddy Miles.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did his thing on that. That was a
he
great
did
one.
his thing. He definitely.
Yeah.
Machine Gun was pretty good too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Power to Love. Like, see, this actually makes me want to actually get the album, actually do a full review on this,
Right.
because you know what I'm saying. It's crazy how I've not listened to this album since today, and I call myself a Jimi Hendrix fan and shit. But and no, I'm not going to talk about the posthumous albums that came out and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to talk about that. So this is as far as I would go because he was still. I want to say he was still alive when he. No, hold on, give me a second. This was March. Oh yeah, he was still alive when he did this. So yeah.
Right.
So yeah. So again, this is a 5 out of 5 and shit.
Yeah, it's a great live album for like only about 6 songs. The band sounded great. The songs were great. Who knows the first song? Who knows was dope. That was one of my favorites. Changes with Buddy.
Mm.
He killed it. You know, like I said, it's definitely a good live. And I'm not really a fan of live albums, but this was a good live album though. The audience was cool. I'm gonna give it 5 mics too.
Yeah, man. Antoine on the corner from Miles Davis, nigga. I forgot about that. Oh, yo, that was another album. Miles kind of went a little funky with this shit too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But even the Get Up on It compilation from '74, it has some of my favorite Miles joints. Like, yeah, see, y'all making me kind of want to vibe out to some jazz and fun tonight and shit. You know what I'm saying? Actually, now fuck this movie, man. Fuck this movie. I'm gonna vibe out tonight. Ah, shit. See, this is the shit. I'm gonna love this fucking week. I'm
But
gonna
wait,
love.
when he performed the Woodstock, wasn't that like that was like the last day, right?
That was the last. That was the last day up into the morning. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man. Whew. See, get up with it. That's the compilation. Yes. Very under. That's the compilation. He had them funky ass glasses and shit. Oh man. Yo, try listen to this song, Maisha.
Uh-huh.
That is classic Miles Davis.
Okay.
Ooh. Yeah, man. I might have to do a part 2 to this one because there's plenty of other more psychedelic albums I want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? There's more tripped out albums where I want to talk about and shit because it's a shame I didn't pick no jazz albums and shit,
Right.
But I was trying to pick the certain albums I already had in my collection or ones that I was very interested in talking about and shit too, So um, I feel like the one for Wednesday, these niggas can't. These niggas gonna be hyped up about this shit.
It's 15 minutes long?
What?
Maisha?
Yeah, it's 15 minutes long.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna reveal that till we actually end off the video and shit. But Sam said, "Do you like Alice Coltrane?" Yeah, I love Alice Coltrane. But I'm not gonna lie. I haven't heard everything from Alice though, but I love vibing out to her and shit. Y'all remember the song "Give Me Some Lovin'" by Spencer Davis Group? That name sounds familiar though. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, that concludes the Jimi Hendrix breakdown and shit.
This was great.
This was a great episode.
Great albums we talking about to start the week off, and we got a lot of great stuff coming. So
Yeah, this week is gonna be pretty fun. By the way, I dropped the Raising Canaan season 2
yeah,
thoughts.
that was great.
Yeah, I'm gonna fit my thoughts on Atlanta season 4 sometime this week because I might have to rewatch the season the finale again because I don't know, man. I'm gonna leave my thoughts on that on a low. That's all I gotta say.
No, Q, that's not psychedelic.
What did he say?
Yeah, my dear.
Uh,
You think that's psychedelic?
it's more experimental than psychedelic. I can see where he's coming from with that because there was some songs.
You said play the
No, no,
clip.
no, no, no. I'm not being funny. I'm not like some songs like "When Did I Start Loving You?" "I Met a Little Girl." Some of the instrumentations was very unorthodox for Marvin, so I can see where he's coming from. I'm not gonna play the clip yet on that one. I'm not gonna play the clip on that one and shit. But yeah, man. Oh, what else? Martin breakdown next week.
Yes.
The show Try Likes.
Yep.
I was just finishing up watching season 5, man. Ugh. Lord have mercy. I forgot how bad that season was.
Right.
So 21 Savage is now trying to backtrack what he said about Nas and shit.
Yeah. Okay. You don't want that smoke with Nas. That's why. You don't want that smoke with him.
Shit, I feel like I'm not gonna lie, the King's Disease run, King's Disease Magic run or whatever is gonna
Yeah.
go down to history.
Definitely. He's not even considered in his prime anymore, really, but he's still dropping gems. You know.
If if this does not win a Grammy either
I
next year
think
or
it
the year
should.
after.
I would be surprised if the Grammys don't nominate him. I really would.
Yeah, because it can still be qualified for a Grammy, right? For this
Yeah,
or
because I think the cutoff date is after November. I want to say.
like after late November.
Yeah. So he just made it in time, and you know.
Yes. If this is not winning any
Then
awards,
82 got nominated, right? Didn't they get nominated?
yeah, it got. I could have sworn he won for KD2 if I'm not mistaken.
He won for Kate. I thought it was KD1 he won for.
Yeah, KD won. Yeah,
He definitely deserves it. There's a couple albums that deserve it. Him and Pusha. Um, I like Black Thought's album. Logic, his album. Kendrick, of course. If they don't nominate none of those albums, then that would be a shame.
right. I bet you. You know what? I'm gonna sound like a dick for this, but I bet you they're gonna do like Takeoff and Quavo's album and stuff like that.
Oh
The
God.
Cuban Links album, just because Takeoff died. Not trying to talk shit, but you know how motherfuckers be. They want to do that for giving them their flowers when they're dead and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, give them a sympathy vote or something. I don't know, but I mean, you got to nominate the albums that deserve it too.
Right.
You know,
Watch. Don't be surprised. Watch the Grammys. Watch Best Rap Album. Put that Cuban Links album and stuff like that. First of all, I don't know why Waquan would give him permission for that
right?
shit.
Why? Why would you do that, Ray?
I'm like, oh, and you know what's crazy though? Speaking of Takeoff,
Uh-huh.
and I'm glad people are kind of calling people out for this, but it's funny how people like Snoop and 50 Cent calling Takeoff a legend, but people
Right,
forget that they were clowning the Migos style and shit. Like, you remember that video where Snoop was mimicking the Migos flow and shit, and then
right.
people on social media calling them fake and shit like that. I'm just like, yeah, I can't get mad about that. I can't.
Man,
Like even me, I'm not the biggest Migos fan like that, but
right,
it's fucked up the way he died because Takeoff was the rapper of the group,
right, right.
the the best one of the group and shit. But watch by next year, people going to call him among the top 20 MCs and shit.
No.
Well, I'm telling you,
Well, they will, but that's just getting caught up in the moment, though.
because now all of a sudden everyone loves Migos now, but when they were
I
alive,
don't.
people say they killed hip hop and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I'm still not a fan,
People say
whether he was
Mumble.
alive or not.
I remember.
I told you there's like one song that when we did the Alchemist beat battle that I played because I actually liked it. That was the Jabroni song with them and Mac Miller that Alchemist produced. But other than that, no, I was never a Migos fan, so I'm not gonna listen to them now because Takeoff died.
I remember the comments. Oh, mumble rap is trash. This is killing hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
This is a disrespect. Or not, now all of a sudden, Migos is among the greatest rap groups of all
No,
time. I'm like, y'all,
no.
y'all let one death, y'all let one death change your opinion overnight to feel accepted, and
No,
it's hilarious.
no. People get caught up in the moment. That's how society is now.
Right.
You know, when Nipsey died, you saw all these Nipsey fans come out the woodwork. I didn't see them when he was dropping his mixtapes.
I didn't see them when he did Hustle in the House back in '09 and
Right,
shit.
right.
Now, granted, I'm gonna be real. I like Nipsey, but I've never heard a Crenshaw mixtape. I admit that. I admit that.
I heard the mixtapes, but I didn't even back then, like 2009, 2010. I didn't think he would have blew up like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And with that one album, Victory Laps, that's what really made him a legend. You know what I'm saying? Then it's unfortunate that he died after, but you know, people get caught up in the moment nowadays. That's what it is.
exactly. Yeah, man. I'm gonna stay on for probably like another 7 more minutes and shit. But yeah, man. Let's see. They should never be playing dice in the hood in Texas. They got.
Right.
I don't understand why they were playing dice in the fucking bowling alley in the first place. Like,
I don't get that.
that's the shit I'm still perplexed about. So that dice ain't no joke, man. I'm telling you,
People
man. Ain't no
people know
fucking
who you
joke.
are. People know who he is. So you know they looking at you like you fooled. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's struggling and they down and out, yo, Migos is here. Let me rob them.
Right, man. Shit, that's why I stopped doing that stupid shit, man. Ronnie says Steppenwolf Born to be Wild or Cream. Oh, nigga, Cream Sunshine of Your Love, nigga. I told you I don't care for that
Born
Born to
to
be Wild.
be wild.
I've
Classic,
been waiting
classic
so
record.
long.
I got Steppenwolf.
I got Cream. I got
Oh,
Jack, Eric, and Ginger.
yeah.
Shit. In the sunshine of your love. Du-du-du-du-du-du. Come on, man. Come on. Don't play, nigga. Don't. Woo! Don't play. Woo!
Yeah.
Shit, man. Don't make me pull out my classic rock bag right quick. Shit, yo.
Uh-oh.
Shit. In the words of Keenan Ivory Wayans, and when he played on the Homeboy Shopping Network, I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy.
Yo,
Q said, "Let me ask out this. What is your favorite Curtis Mayfield album?"
Superfly.
Yeah, Superfly.
Love that. Back to the World is underrated though.
Yes, I would even say Curtis from 1970 is underrated too.
Curtis was great too. Yeah.
This nigga Antoine said she messed with wolves. But yeah, y'all funny, man. So I just realized December is going to be in 2 weeks, so I gotta. So the collection video is going to be the next 2 weeks.
Mm. Dope.
In the words of Mobb Deep, temperatures rising, but it's not surprising.
Okay.
Stakes is high. De La Soul. You want to be starting something. Because something tells me I should drop a sneak peek on y'all.
Uh-oh.
Something tells me I should drop a sneak peek. Should I?
Do your thing, man. Do it.
Let me see. Actually, nah. Nah. I'm not gonna spoil y'all right now.
Not yet.
Cause I told myself I wasn't gonna show y'all any more shit until at the actual day, so I'm gonna keep up to my promise and shit.
Right.
Sam said, "Do you like Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back?" Isn't that an Adult Swim show?
It was that's Kevin Smith. It was cool. I prefer like Jay and Silent Bob and like Mallrats. I thought they were funny in Mallrats. You know, but it was it was a good movie.
Q said favorite Curtis Mayfield sample. Ooh, that's a good question, Q. Okay, shit. A good question. That's a good ass question. Damn. It's the one Snoop Dogg did on Doggy Style and shit like that. Fuck. He used the "Give Me Your Love" song.
Uh-huh.
I think it was like the bathtub skit. Yeah, I like the bathtub skit. Hell,
Justin Scott, Kanye West.
that was my second choice. I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that shit too.
It was a great sample. And that was when Kanye was making great music back then.
That was when Common had common sense. Y'all remember the song "Piece of My Heart" by Cheap Thrills? Yeah, I remember that song. I always thought this band was Big Brother, but hey, it should have just been called Janis Joplin and random musicians. That's what they should just call themselves. What you think of Janis Joplin, Try?
It was dope. A great artist for her time. I haven't listened to a lot of her stuff though, but you could tell that she was definitely a legendary artist. Gone too soon.
What about the Who?
I know some of these songs. I wasn't like a huge fan of them like that. I know some of these songs.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, man. It's crazy. I have not done a Who album review yet. It's crazy. But I managed to do Nelly and shit,
I bring it up. You did.
I knew somebody was going to mention that.
Hey, I did not bring it up.
I don't give a fuck. I love them Nelly reviews and shit.
I know you do.
Yeah, Sam. Quantumania is actually my favorite album from them. Yeah, man. Antoine said, "Dope Digital Ground album, Sex Packers versus Sons of the P." to me.
Mm.
Ooh, I have to go with
My
Sons of the
favorite
P.
too. Sons of the I had gotten Sons of the P for Christmas that year. What was that, like 91?
Yeah,
1991, and it got damaged, and now they all they shit is expensive. But that was like the first one, the first album with Tupac. Like Tupac was in a couple of those songs. D
right.
Train Flow was a banger, and Kiss You Back was one of my favorites. You know, what's the right? No Nose Job. That's a classic album.
I agree. Um, Ronnie said better guitarist Cliff Burton or Jimi Hendrix. I mean Jimmy, because Cliff Burton played the bass and shit. So
Right?
oh Sam, the Who sells out. That's a dope album. That's so fucking underrated. I only have two Who albums, two Who's Next and Quantifinia. I need to get Tommy. But I hate the song Baba O'Reilly. I hate that fucking song. I was like, oh my god. That was when once like Townsend discovered synthesizer, he just went crazy on that Who's Next. I was like, nigga, calm down. Like, calm down, nigga. nigga just discovered synthesizer. He didn't know what to do with himself, man. Shit. I'm like, god damn. Yeah. Ronnie says 60s The Who or 70s The Who. I'm gonna have to go with 60s The Who. I'm gonna be real. 60s The Who they were on some other shit. Also, people are saying shit about Pop Smoke and shit. Like he's one of the saviors for East Coast hip hop and
Oh
shit.
God, really? That's what it is now.
I swear.
Gotta stop that, man. Buffalo saved East Coast hip hop. With Zelda and those cats up in Rochester. Shane knowing them.
Right.
You know,
Oh, Conway's album. That's another one that should be nominated and shit.
Conway album was fire. I actually saw a post because I think the song he did with Joe Scott and No Pearls is up for Grammy consideration.
Oh shit.
So who knows? Conway might get a Grammy nod with Joe Scott for that.
Hell, I would accept that too. Shit.
He had a good album. Everybody from Griselda this year. Amani Caesar, Hitler Wears Hermes 10. I think that's the best one in a long time from West Side Gun. That was fire.
Yeah,
Penny's out. Tenor Talk 4 was good.
this year's been so good for hip hop. I'm not even gonna hold
It
you.
has. It has. There's a lot of good albums. A lot of under the radar albums that are fire right now too. That came out. Muggs just put out an album with Jay Worthy. Fire album. You got Homeboy Sandman. He dropped a new album. Vic Spencer and Steve Daniels. They dropped a new album. Federal Star dropped a new album. A lot of dope releases this year.
Yeah, see, all this shit's making me motivated to work on some music and shit.
Rock Marcy album was cool. I didn't think it was great like that. He had some bangers. I do like what's his name? Mayhem Loren with Davinger, Black Vladimir. We talked about that, weeks ago. That was a great album.
Definitely.
You know,
Ronnie says favorite concept album. Oh man. I'm not gonna say Hear My Dear because I mentioned that so many times. I'm gonna say one that I haven't mentioned. You know what? I'm gonna surprise y'all with this one, but I'm gonna have to say Fleetwood Mac Rumors.
Rumors was fire.
Yeah,
It's a dope album.
and yes, I consider it concept albums because it was talking about all their love lives and how they fucked each other and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So hey, it told a story. So yeah.
Facts.
Hey, Rumors has my favorite Fleetwood Mac song, Dreams.
Dreams is dope.
Who the fuck is texting me at once, 2 in the morning? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay. Shout out to that nigga Mike.
Nothing like
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna end this off right here and shit, cause I'm about to chill out for the night. But got a few announcements, got a few announcements. So like I said before, next week is gonna be the Martin breakdown. I don't know exactly what day I'm gonna actually do it and shit like that, but if it happens, I know it's not gonna be on Thanksgiving. I know that. If anything, it might be maybe that Sunday. I don't know, but I just gonna just have to see and believe. Um, tomorrow, I mean not tomorrow, but Wednesday, we're gonna do an R&B double review. You're gonna do Frank Ocean's Nostalgia Ultra, and we're also gonna do Channel Orange.
I thought he was doing blonde too.
Nah,
No?
not
Oh.
yet, not yet. Yeah, I thought about doing Blonde, but I'm gonna be real with you.
Mhm.
I knew I really never cared for that album, and with Tripped Out Week, I really want to do like a lot of albums that
Right.
I feel are very unorthodox, and I don't really consider that album psychedelic or trippy.
Right.
I don't even know what the direction he was going for after all these years,
I,
honestly.
I do feel like the album concept was more mature from Channel Orange.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But just because, like, this is the thing, just because somebody makes an album that's mature or they're grown up, that does not always mean the
Right.
music's automatically better and shit. That's all I'm
Right.
saying.
Facts.
Okay, I hate when people, not you
Mhm.
mentality, but I hate when people kind of use that notion because me and Aisha were just talking about this. Like, whenever an artist overcomes drugs and shit, it's kind of. I have to say this. We were talking about this, and see if y'all agree with me on this one. So it's
Mhm.
like whenever an artist, let's just say when Carlos Santana did Supernatural,
Right.
which you guys know I never cared for Supernatural. I kind of feel
Really?
like yeah,
Wow.
never
I think
cared
it's
for
a phenomenal album.
yeah, but see, we're supposed to the general consensus is like we're supposed to like the album
Mhm.
because he overcame drugs. He's a
Right.
survivor.
Right.
So I think to myself, but when he was on that shit, y'all he was making Abraxas, the
Mhm.
self-titled joint, he was
That's
making all
fire.
your combo. So I'm thinking to myself,
Mhm.
is it whenever somebody says this, always supposed to disregard the shit that they did on drugs? Like Aerosmith is another example too.
Right. Right.
Yeah, y'all know
Mhm.
how I feel about Aerosmith and shit. So now, what is their most successful single? I really
Aerosmith.
I don't want to miss a thing
Right.
because they were survivors. They
Mhm.
overcame drugs, but when they were on drugs, they did Dream On.
Right.
They did Toys in the Attic. They did two of my favorite albums they've ever done,
Mhm.
and we're supposed to hate that. But see, when Mary J. Blige, when Mary J. Blige, when she overcame drugs, y'all don't like her music.
I don't.
Y'all say,
Right. But it's like, well,
yeah,
I don't want to say I don't
hold
like
on.
it, but I think for her, that's not with every artist though. Like with Mary, like a lot of the women can relate to what Mary was singing about because they were going through what she was going through that time. So when
Mm.
she did My Life and No More Drama, they were going through what she was going through. You know what I'm saying? But once she got out of that and she saw the light or whatever, her music took a dive. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, if we do a whole breakdown on just the Mary albums in the 2000s, there's not gonna be too many times you're gonna say, "Oh, this was a classic Mary album."
I disagree because she
What
actually
was
has
what was
two
her classic in the
classics.
2000s?
She actually
Other
has
than
two
No More
classics
Drama,
to me in the 2000s.
No More Drama, and what else? Breakthrough.
Yes.
Okay, that's two. It's still a decade. So what about the other albums? Stronger with Every Tear, Love and Life, Growing Pains.
Well, Love and Life. When I first heard Love and Life, I never cared for it. I'm gonna re-listen to it one day. But I know Growing Pains for '07 was it was solid. It wasn't great. It was good, but not great.
Mm-hmm.
Have I heard Stronger with Every Tear? I don't think I've heard Stronger with Every Tear. I have to hear that again,
That
but
was mediocre to me. That's
you
the
should.
one she did with the Drake song.
Oh God. Oh shit.
I'm telling you, like
But see,
look, and she dropped during that time. She dropped My Life too. That was bad.
okay. But see, here's the thing. Here's the thing though. The general consensus is like this. It's like we were raised on to love. What's the 4-1? Which I love. My life. I love that. But when it comes to like the Share My World and Mary,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of bump those a bit more these
Those
days
are
than
great.
what's the
Those are great
4-1 of my
albums.
life.
Right.
Cause
Right.
see, that's like a good middle ground
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that too. Cause that's when her artistry grew and
Right.
stuff too.
She
But
got away
then
from Puffy. She got
that's
away
what
from
I
Puffy.
said. That's what I said too.
Yeah, she got away from Puffy.
That's what I said too and shit. Yeah.
You know.
So but see, it's just like this. It's like when these rock acts, when they sometimes get away from these drugs and shit like that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like they overhype or the marketing gets so much better. They overhype some of this trash that they be doing and shit. Like Alice Cooper, when
Mm-hmm.
he did that stupid ass Poison song in the late '80s,
Right.
I did not like that
You
shit.
didn't like that.
Hell no. Um, what else? What else? Hell, Kid Cudi's been drugged up all his career, man. I ain't gonna fuck shit.
It's it's in between.
Rodney said, "How about Rick James when like I said, Rick James, man? I mean, that nigga been on drugs his pretty much his whole career, honestly.
Right. When
And
was he
shit,
not on drugs?
it intensified towards the middle, but at the same time, honestly, after '82, it was very hit or miss, in my personal opinion.
Right.
Because the only thing I like post '82 like that was the Glow album. Cold Blooded
What was
was
good?
decent. It
Right.
wasn't all that.
Okay, but I think given the age of Carlos Santana and what he overcame, I mean, some artists are not going to be the same after they get off of drugs. And the fact that he got off of drugs and he went in and made Supernatural with a shitload of artists. I thought not even the drug factor, but I thought the album itself was a good album.
Well, we're gonna have to. We
You,
might, we
you
might
know,
have to
like
talk about that next week then.
I would love it. I actually have that album too. I think
Oh,
it's a
perfect. Because I never see. It don't even feel like a Santana album.
uh-huh.
Because when I like Santana, I'm like the Latin
Right. Yeah.
psychedelic, the Latin psychedelic jazzy
It was pop
Santana.
Santana. It was
It
more
was
pop,
pop,
more mainstream. Yeah.
and even in back in the day, Santana when he made that pop adult contemporary shit.
Right.
It was still that Santana style and shit
Yeah.
like that. You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
But
I agree.
at the same time, something about Supernatural, I just never cared for. To me, I'm gonna give it a trash review.
I think not even the Grammy factor had a lot to play in it, but I think when you hear that album, it was like, okay, it's the 2000s, it's a different era. I think he was trying to bridge, the Latin jazz into mainstream, and by getting Lauryn Hill on the album and CeeLo and Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20. So I think that's what it was. But yeah, it's a very different album compared to Abraxas and his earlier stuff.
No, it's the Clive Davis touch. That's what it is.
That's another factor.
It's
Yeah, because Clive was
it's
still at Arista.
and you know how I feel about Crypt Keeper Clive and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because don't get me wrong, Clive has done a lot of good, but then he's got a lot of questionable things to certain artists and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like let's not forget. Clive gave Aretha the Freeway of Love era and shit. Let's not forget.
Right.
But at the
That ain't
same
no joke.
time, Clive gave Dionne Warwick some of her best shit with
Mhm.
that Dion album and shit like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With Never Never Loved This Way Again and shit. What y'all know about that shit though?
Hey, that's
But
good.
that also has my favorite song she's ever done, Deja Vu. Woo! And of course, Clive gave us Whitney too, but
Right.
yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes the thing with Clive, he does style over artistry
Mhm.
when it comes to certain artists.
Right.
But not like because Clive mentored Puffy. Let's connect the dots on this. Let's
He
connect.
did. He did.
Let's
I don't know if maybe he knew back then Puffy was a fucking snake. You know what I'm saying? But
see. I mean,
I really detest that dude, yo. Like I don't care for him.
Clive Clive mentored L.A. Reid. Let's talk about that.
L.A. Reid is a good business. Well, he was a good businessman. I don't know how he is now, but you know,
L.A. Reid messed up Janet Jackson's out.
he had an eye for talent. Him and Babyface at one point.
When he was with Babyface, he was good.
Right.
But when he did solo shit, business
Mhm.
and on album nights, like nigga, you have to put the eyebrows on him and shit.
He promoted Pink wrong. Like she wasn't R&B.
Woo, child.
You know what I'm
Woo,
saying? You know,
woo, child. He tried to make Pink Tina Marie, man. I'm like,
yeah,
woo, child.
that's not
Woo, child. Woo. Pink had to be a rock star, man. She was like, I'm tired of these niggas, man. Fuck
her.
this.
Right.
Oh shit, man. But yeah, but back to Crypt Keeper Clive and shit.
Stop calling him that.
What? Nigga like 200 years old and shit, yo. You you can actually see the wrinkles forming in him. You can see the wrinkles forming in him. Like I
Oh
said,
Lord.
like don't get me wrong, Clive Davis, good businessman.
Mhm.
I fuck with Clive Davis, and he's a good businessman. He has an ear for talent, but he does some questionable shit.
Yeah.
And his
Is
spawn is Puffy and L.A. Reid. That was his
the
spawn.
last great thing he did was sign Alicia Keys.
I agree.
That was the last
I
great thing
agree.
he did.
Well, he remember he had Leona Lewis, but that didn't go
He
nowhere.
was good, yeah. She had like one good album.
How you with Simon and Clive Davis and you still
Uh,
they try to make her the new Mariah, and then
yeah,
you try
yeah.
to make Jennifer Hudson the new Whitney. Oh Lord, have mercy on my soul. Oh my God. But yeah, Crypt Keeper Clive. We're gonna talk about Santana Supernatural next week. We're gonna talk about that.
Yes. Another album never talked about. So
I would call it a trash review, but you love the album, so
I
it's not.
don't think it's not trash. I've heard worse than that. In 2000s, I've heard worse than that. It's not trash. It was very mainstream for him. And the fact that he won all those Grammys that year, album of the year and all that
See,
probably is why people are turned off from that album. But
that was the time when the Grammys were trying to be Latin appropriate, because then Ricky Martin also win some Grammys that time too.
Ricky Martin had one. I
I'm just
think
like,
Loca was out around that time or some shit.
then J Lo was coming out. I'm just like,
J Lo
yo,
was coming. Oh God!
I'm
Again,
like,
Puffy's influence on her career, because he put that battery in her back. Oh, go ahead, mommy, you can sing. No, she can't. She never
meanwhile,
could.
Geraldo was like, when's Rico Suave going to come back and shit?
Exactly, right? He was off doing reality shows and shit.
Yo, I'm not gonna. I fuck with that Rico Suave song.
What? Oh,
Yeah, I said it.
oh, the song. I thought.
Yeah, I
Like
said it. I fuck with
he
the
actually
song.
put
Yeah,
out
I
an
said
album.
it.
I don't remember him putting out a whole album.
I mean, I didn't go that far,
No,
but
no, I don't like the song. I don't like. No,
all right.
that's
I'm
so
like,
cheesy. Even when I watch it, that shit is so cheesy. Yo, it was cheesy back then.
look at AC Slater being a rapper and shit. Like,
Oh my lord. No, yo, that was bad. That was
He
bad.
said also Leo Cohen. What? Hold on, Leo Cohen.
Nah, Leo Cohen did good. What are you talking
He
about?
did good. He wasn't.
I was a part of those Def Jam street teams. He did good for the label. Like
Let's not
DMX, Ja Rule, Jay Z,
yeah,
they all made millions for Def Jam.
right. But the only thing I kind of give him the side eye on is like how he sometimes treated some of the black women on the label, but that's another story for a different day and shit.
Right.
But Leo, I'm not gonna put him next to a Puffy or
Yeah,
LA
nah,
Real. You crazy?
he ain't that
You
puffy.
crazy? Q? Come on, man.
Nah, Def Jam is still here. Where's Bad Boy? You know,
Shit.
nah,
Bad Boy's
he's
defender, man.
far
Shit.
better than Leo wanted to get shit done. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he
For
got shit
real.
done. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, he wasn't puffy.
Yo, he had me dying in the Murder Inc. documentary and shit. He was like, this nigga said Gotti got the false narrative of Irv being the big boss, but to me, he's actually an idiot.
Man,
Shit, yo.
crazy shit.
Yeah, man, but I'm gonna actually end off this right here. This is a fun ass review.
Yeah, this is great.
Appreciate this try as usual.
No doubt.
Um, yes, Beatles Sergeant Pepper is still in print, of course. You know what I'm saying? It was also nominated for a Grammy too. You know what I'm saying? But it lost.
Oh wow,
Shit too.
who did it lose to that year?
You're gonna laugh.
Oh God, somebody bad?
It's somebody I actually don't know, but I gotta pull up the name for you. Hold on.
Oh my lord.
Oh no, actually no. It won Grammy of the album of the year. It won 4
Oh,
Grammy awards
oh
actually. Hold on,
wow.
I'm sure.
Okay.
It won 4 Grammy awards and shit. Meanwhile, Michael Jackson's Bad and Sign of the Times didn't win shit.
That's crazy. How does that happen? Bad didn't win shit? When was that? 87? Come on.
Yeah, it lost to U2.
Fuck no. No, Bad was the best album of 87. Not you. Fuck that. They
Actually,
got it
I'm
wrong.
more of a Sign of the Times fan over
Sign
Bad,
of the
but
Times
I'm
was a
not gonna
great
go.
album too. That was a great album. Both of those albums should have won a Grammy that year.
He said, "Fuck no."
What? YouTube? The fuck?
I mean, like I said, like I said on Zooropa, Joshua Tree was good, but to me, they made better albums than Joshua Tree. I kind of felt it was a bit overhyped and shit.
This man had Man on the Mirror. You had The Way She Makes Me Feel, Liberian Girl, Leave Me Alone. How the fuck does that get a Grammy? Not even a Grammy nomination?
Man, Prince had Housequake, Balance of Dorothy Parker,
That's one of his best albums, yeah.
Sign of the. I'm not disagreeing with you, but this nigga had Adore.
Right.
Nigga, he had Adore. Adore.
Crazy. They've been getting it wrong for decades, as you can see. It hasn't
Like I
changed.
said, I feel like they had better albums, like Unforgettable Fire, better albums.
Grammys could totally ignore Nas and Hit Boy and nominate Drake and 21 Savage.
Hey, let's not give them no ideas. Let's calm down.
I'm just saying, I would not be surprised because they've been doing this shit for decades, yo.
Oh shit. Or maybe give it to Lotto.
Oh God.
No, excuse me, Mulatto. But yeah, they won Grammy Awards for Album of the Year, Best Contemporary Album, Best Engineered Recording, Non-Classical, and Best Album Cover and Graphics.
Oh.
Now, I'm gonna see who it lost to for Album of the Year. Hold on, let me see. Okay, so other nominees were Frank Sinatra, Francis Albert Sinatra, and Antonio Carlos Jobim. Hey, look, try your favorite artist and shit.
Who's that?
Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, fuck no. That's who it lost to, Frank Sinatra?
Yeah, lost. No. It won against Frank Sinatra, Vicky Cart. It must be him.
You got it right then.
Eddie Ames, My Cup Runneth Over, and Bobby Gentry, Ode to Billy Joe.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Okay, the Grammys got it right for once.
They got it right for once.
But yeah, man. But yeah, appreciate this try as usual. Hope everyone has a good night. I'll see y'all on Wednesday.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.